has all the list of things on. Hey, we are live. It is game time to talk games, and I've got the one and only KC from the big, beautiful city of Chicago. KC, good evening.
Good evening, John. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for jumping on tonight. And Casey's filling in tonight because our friends who are going to be here from the Sparkle Factor ended up filling in with a last-minute event for, I believe, a youth type event where a DJ got something came up and they filled in. So
it's a lie. They're doing the Trump rallies. They're trying to keep the Americans out of Canada. The amount of people moving there, if Trump gets elected, they're preparing.
Exactly. That's really what it is. That is true. And they're building up their border. They're like getting their pine sticks out there and sticking them all in there.
They're getting their wall up.
So we're going to talk about games. What I asked KC to do is to go and pick out some of his favorite games, and he picked out he has a list of games, and I've got a few games here, and we're just going to kind of go back and forth and talk about some of the games we do at our events. Make this a quick little informative show for those of you who are into games. There's going to be some things here maybe that you haven't heard of or seen before, and if you've never done games, there might be a few things here. If you have questions, we'll be taking those in the YouTube chat, not in the Facebook chat, because the Facebook chat I can't get to at all during this show. And the links for this is show number 3. You can see that on the Facebook in the description. So I think I've got all the house cleaning out of the way. So Casey, I'm going to let you start off since you are the guest tonight.
Okay.
Game. What's our first one you got for us?
You know what? This one I will give credit where credit is due to Randy Bartlett, and this is the Centerpiece game.
Yes.
I use this quite frequently. I am a fan of, call it laziness. I don't like to bring props. I don't like to bring stuff. I like to bring my microphone along with my DJ system, and everything else is up here. And Randy showed it's on one of his DVDs. It's called the Centerpiece game. And essentially, you can play it at any event where the centerpiece is going to be gifted to one of the guests. And the way that we happen to do it is that we simply introduce it and we say, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there is a beautiful centerpiece in the center of each table. I'm happy to say right now that one of you lucky guests are going to be able to take that home, and we're going to determine who that person is right now. So what I'd like everyone to do is to please stand up. And I would ask for one person, just one person at each table, to pull out a single $1 bill. I think that's like $1.06 Canadian for those of you watching from Canada. 7,000 pesos in Mexico. But no, a one single dollar bill. And what ends up happening is I say when the music starts, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask you to pass that dollar bill to your left. Keep it going as fast as you can. The faster it goes, the better that it is. On your head, get that go. My disc jockey will hit upbeat, fun dance music. Round and round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Music randomly stops. The person holding the dollar is excited, and I get to tell them they're the first to sit down for dinner. So they get to sit down, which gets a nice big round of applause, especially with the older people. I love this game because the older people that don't necessarily dance, they're still entertained, they're still having a good time, and it's cute. Music starts again, round, round, round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Music stops. This time I tell the person with the dollar bill that they get to tell the person to their right to sit down that they've been eliminated. Round, round, round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Music's going. Music stops. I then say, congratulations. The person holding the dollar bill wins the dollar bill. The person who is kind enough to donate their dollar out of their purse or wallet gets to take home our centerpiece, which gets a big applause and a nice laughter, and it's just a nice, quick moment. And usually, I wind up getting a whole bunch of people come up to me even before the dancing starts saying, that was terrific, where did you come up with it? And I credit Peter Mary. Forget Randy Bartlett.
Mm-hmm. Randy, I remember hearing that one. I've used that one myself also, and that is a great. If you guys haven't done that, you can add little twists to it and have some fun with it, but the concept works. And I don't think I've ever had a group that hasn't been laughing and just really into it.
Yeah, and again, no props, no hula hoops, no limbo stick, no cards, no anything. All you need is a great, fun personality. So how Randy gets away with it, I have no idea.
But on that note,
hello, everybody.
Oh, I'm going to copy this so I can move it down here. Okay.
Okay.
So that good start. Good start. I'm going to do one of the activities that I do. I do many corporate events where I've done them year after year after year. So I have a rotation of what I'm doing at these corporate events now. But one of the rotations is a 1 year I will do a build a robot kind of a contest, and I will do to decorate a Christmas tree, and I'll space them out. And basically I don't remember who did a version of this. It was a Christmas tree game, I believe, that someone did at the DJ All-Stars back in the late 90s, I think it was. It was one of the first ones I went to. And what they would do is they would get teams. Johnny Roz did it, I think.
Okay.
And what they did is they had teams of five. A team of 5 people. They would come out, and one person would be the captain, and that person would become either the robot or the Christmas tree. And then you have a box of props, which is you have to obviously be prepared with this. If I'm doing the Christmas tree, you have garland, you have some Christmas lights, you have some Christmas balls. You might. I'm a big fan of using aluminum foil for different things, so they have that. Maybe some construction paper, anything that they could use. And I. Even within the room, they'll go grab things. So I hand them a little tote that has 10 different things that they could be using to decorate. And they get a certain amount of time to decorate their Christmas tree. Robot, aluminum foil, toilet paper, cones. Cones they have more.
Do you have actual miniature Christmas trees, or is it just like a horizontal drawing?
The person will it becomes the Christmas tree or becomes the robot. So the little bit of a difference between the two is when they're done, we can do a judging with the Christmas tree. And what I've done when we do the building of a robot is once they're done with the robot and they have the robot all set up, I will ask them to tell me about their robot and all the little nuances, because obviously being an adult event, a Christmas party, they're going to have some sort of sexual, or either it's going to have something sexual on it, or it's going to have alcohol related or something nasty. So it's the stories actually when it comes to the build a robot are the most fun. I actually enjoy that one more because. And I'll let them know at a point in time during that 2 minutes, generally it's about 2 minutes that I give them to do the decorating, is that, okay, I'm going to need one person from your team to be the representative to tell us about your robot. What are the special powers and special abilities? What will your robot be able to do? And it goes over incredibly well. Great photo opportunities because people will take pictures of their decorated boss that they've thought this was so cool.
Okay. Okay, very good.
So yeah, that's something I use. I've used that one, variations of those for years, and I've never had those fail at corporate events.
So I've learned that Santa Claus and booze at a Christmas party equals sexual positions. Let me know. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
And you think I was just playing the electric slide all these years?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when it gets cold in Minnesota. I'm just saying.
Apparently. How many children do you have?
That's why I have 6 kids. Yeah. It all comes together now.
I understand. So, you know what? Since you brought up sexual positions, I'm going to go with a classic DJ Times DJ of the Year contestant game. For those of you on the East Coast, a lot of you know Denny. Denny, I want to say his name is McCall is his last name. Years ago, he did a contest called the Sexual Position Game at DJ Times. And the way that it went, again, I'm a guy with no props. It had to be co-ed teams. And what happened was he had a whole bunch of couples up there. The music started. Everybody starts dancing. The minute the music stops, that couple had to get into a sexual position of some kind. And you would be amazed at how crazy. Now, if memory serves, you could not repeat the same sexual position, and whoever had the least interesting sexual position was kicked out of the game.
Oh, my.
I would not recommend this at corporate parties, but if you're working some bars or nightclubs or crazy fraternity parties or spring breaks, but I have to tell you, Denny is the nicest guy in the world, and the room was peeing in their pants laughing.
Oh,
absolutely, positively hilarious. Unfortunately, as you know, for DJ of the Year, there's that little efficacy rule that Mike has in his contest, which says that whatever you're teaching should be able to be used at any event that you're working at. So apparently, sexual position game at a wedding reception is not appropriate.
I mean, let's think about it. What is the thing that happens after the wedding? It's wedding, reception. When you're done with the reception, what's the next part? I mean, shouldn't it all fit together?
I go through the drive-through on my way home.
Yeah, no, that's not where I was headed with that.
Okay. Again, you guys do things so much different in Minnesota. Apparently.
Exactly. Well, we get cold and we have to keep things warm. So we're going to take a quick break here. We've got a couple of our sponsors for DJ and TV this summer, and we'll be back with our next game.
All right.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Top Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
All right, we are back to our game night talk. We've gone through 3 games. The third game that we just went through probably will get you either hired at the bar over and over again, or you'll be
sexual harassment
or something.
Inappropriateness. Unless you're from Minnesota, because apparently there it's encouraged.
In Minnesota, that's like, oh, they're keeping warm. Isn't that cute?
You guys have roller coasters and malls. You guys do everything different.
Yeah, exactly. We just like to have things, that way. Okay, the next game I've got is a game that I believe Raymar introduced back at one of the early mobile beats that I attended, and it was kind of a battle of the sexes. It's basically a word association game where you'll have 2 teams. Now, he recommended, or when he did it, he had a team of ladies and a team of guys, which, if you know, at a DJ convention means that all 4 of the ladies who are attending the DJ convention at that time, I shouldn't really, because I think you see more ladies there today than you did when I first started.
Back in those days, it was like Gary Kasser in a wig, and John Roz in a wig, and Joe Martin in a wig.
And we thought they were pretty.
Yeah, it was a lot of booze back then.
Yeah, it was a different time. So you have your 2 teams, and it can be, I've done this at high school with proms, a post-prom where I've had the juniors versus the seniors. I've had the boys, 2 teams, even numbers. And it's a word association game, so you're going to get it, you'll have the 2 people step forward, and I've got my microphone. And you're going to give them an example before. So it's a word association. I'm going to be giving you a topic, and you need to say words associated with that topic or related to that topic. We're going to go rapid fire back and forth. If you delay too long, or if you repeat one of the words that were said before, you're out. And you can only say one word. Very simple. Women usually start ladies first, and I give the example before we start. If I would say things associated with McDonald's, you might say French fries, shakes, hamburgers, back and forth. So that's how diarrhea. And I've had that one actually. Someone did say that when I did a Burger King. But anyway, that's another. So it works very well. The person who and you will get times when you have a very competitive crowd that if that delay, if they pause too long, that they will, if you're going timing back forth, and that you'll have people that'll get really, really, especially especially adult Christmas parties. Teen events, they love the game, but they were into this. But boy, I've gotten some adult where they're super competitive at the corporate events, and they're like, no. And Casey, this fits exactly. I mean, yeah, I've got the list of topics, things associated with Crayola color crayons, things associated with the Minnesota Vikings, things, whatever. You can pick your topics, and it works very well. The largest I've done it, I had 18 people on both sides. So basically, if you figure you're going to narrow it down, you need to have 35 topics, and I had 35 topics or the different things, and it worked very well. So the word association game.
It works everywhere. Bars too. And again, in a bar, you can let them get dirty, do whatever, and it's a good time. It's universal. It works everywhere.
Exactly. And I think that when I've done it in a bar a couple of times, and there you can go, talk about things that are associated with a nightstand.
Right.
And have a little more fun with it, and they
clock radio. I'm out.
Yeah, dentures, glasses. I had one gentleman who would not say anything, and she was on the other side, and she's like, a dildo and a condom and lube, and he's going with everything he could think of. He ended up winning because he outlasted her, but he was going. It was a good humor. Good humor.
Bible.
Yeah, he might have gone that far. I don't remember, but the crowd was cheering for him just because he was being Mr. all nice and proper.
That's good. Very good. That great game. You can do any topic. If you have a theme party, you can gear it all around the theme as well. I've done that with bar and bat mitzvahs before, where we gear it all around the theme. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a great one.
Good stuff.
Let's see. Speaking of bar and bat mitzvahs, let's go with some of the classics. So. I know it seems simple enough, but it's amazing to me how often I work in a non-Jewish area and I play the game Pepsi Cola, or Coke Pepsi, where essentially everybody gets a partner. They face each other from across the dance floor. So this side's now Coke facing their partner, which is right here, Pepsi. When I call it the word Pepsi, everybody from this side runs over and they sit down on their partner's knee. When I call it the word Coke, everybody from this side runs over. The last two people across the dance floor to sit down on each other's knee is out of the game. If I call the word Dr. Pepper, you have to get to the center of the dance floor, get back to back and lock arms. If I call the word 7-Up, anytime throughout the game, you have to freeze in place. One of the things that I like to do is also scream out, strike a pose, and everybody has to look at the photographer. I'll have him positioned up on our stage, and they have to give me their best diva or runway poses. So the photographer gets some great pictures. Process of elimination goes back and forth. The kids going to bar and bat mitzvahs have known it since probably the early 90s. However, the great part about it is when you're dealing with new people and they're not used to that, again, it's all new stuff. So it's a great one. Back and forth, it's awesome.
It's interesting. I did not know about that game until I went to DJ Expo for the first time.
Okay, perfect example.
And that put me. It had been the early 2000s, so I would have been in the business for 15 plus years at that time. Right. So it's partially because we don't have a bar mitzvah market out here.
Right.
Secondly, is I think it's more of an East Coast game. I think out here we just like to have things that are just blatantly sexual, I guess.
And ice fishing.
Ice fishing.
All about ice fishing.
Exactly.
Don't understand that. You put your roller coasters inside, but you
go outside.
Fish on a freezing lake. I don't.
Worst idea.
We're going to give you to Canada someday anyway. You already speak Canadian, eh?
Okay. The next one is that I have is something that you guys have probably done versions of this, but this is something that I have been including with my corporate events. Is during that dinner time when the people are getting their food and it's kind of there's the eating time, but it's kind of a some people are in line, some people are not, and we've got this thing going on in the room. Is I do a dinner trivia for the event, and I'll talk to the promoters or the people putting it on in advance. And we'll put together about a 20-question list. And what I'll do during this is because I'm also doing video with the things, that the questions will go up on the screens as they go. So that way for the people who are in line for the food, they can talk about their answer, but they aren't going to be missing out. So they can still be part of that. But what I end up doing is having questions that they can go and A can answer. And then at the end of the dinner time, we have we have they do all the answering of the questions, and you have everyone stand up. Every table that has 10 or more right stand up. Everyone who has 15 or more, whatever you do. It's amazing how what this does with a corporate event is that you have a table of 10 people who probably don't talk to each other because 4 of them know each other, but the others don't. But having them become a team for this trivia and having some difficult questions really makes it so that you have people who are now are communicating and talking for the first time. And by the time you're done, you've actually got this group of people who kind of know each other a little bit. So it's really really kind of a cool way to do it. And sometimes it doesn't work. It's not 100% this particular one, but for the right event and the right people, it can really be a neat thing to add to your options for a corporate event.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, and since you're back on corporate events and icebreakers, I will throw out, now so far I've had no props. This next game is going to require about however many guests you have. You simply need to bring a sticker of some kind with. So if it's Christmas, you could get little, go to the Hallmark store, get little Christmas trees or Santa Clauses or what have you. So here's what you're going to do. You'll work with the committee greeting everyone, or you'll be a greeter, and you'll simply put a sticker on each person's lapel or somewhere where it's visible. Mm-hmm. Throughout the course of the cocktail hour, you instruct each person that throughout the course of the cocktail, as you talk to everyone, you want to convince them to use the word no, either N-O or K-N-O-W. What happens then is every time somebody's tricked into using it or they're lured into using it, you get to remove their sticker. The person who has the most amount of stickers at the end of the cocktail hour wins a prize of some kind. The great part about this is, once again, it requires just about no work or effort, and the people are all interacting, chatting with each other, talking, everything else, and the nice part is it keeps everybody moving and giggling, and all of a sudden throughout the cocktail you hear someone go, shit! And so, but it's great, especially if you're like in an association meeting or something where people don't really know each other. They're coming together for a cause, like maybe a Toys for Tots thing or something along those lines. It's a community and you want people to feel comfortable and friendly. So now as they're interacting, how are you? Do you know anybody here? No. Okay, thanks for the sticker. And there it goes. And you'll be surprised. So the gift could be anything that the host wants to give that time of year. It's great. There's all kinds of big prizes at your Walmarts and your Sam's Clubs. And it could be a bottle of champagne. It could be a giant tin of popcorn, whatever you want to do. But the nice part is everybody talks. That requires me to bring like 6 sheets of stickers. So I still have not put a hula hoop in my car yet. So it's good. I don't have to exert myself. I don't like to exert myself. So,
stickers good.
People do the work. It's great. So, and it gets everyone talking.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful idea. I love that. I love that ability to steal and take. That's cool. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. I think we're going to end up having to run. I'm going to do one. I think we've got one more that'll give us. We've done our 4.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be running out of time here. Let's see. The last one I wanted to talk about was, I do a couple of things with video, and one of them is and these are more for teen dances. Okay. I do some trivia with video, and that's not where I'm going to go with this. The one that I do with teen dances, I have 6 different clips. One of them is the young man who did that lightsaber thing a few years back. The Numa kid is in there. There's basically some very popular YouTube videos that a lot of people should know. And what I do with that is I'll have a kid come up on stage, kind of calling this my idol contest, what have you, or my you want to be a star contest, whatever's the hot thing going on right at this time. And I'll have them come up on stage, and they can pick a number between 1 and 5. Let's say I've got 5 contestants, and they'll be I'll be 4. It doesn't matter if they pick 1, 5. The first one in the queue is what they're going to get. But anyway, you picked 4. You are going to dance like this guy. So we'll play this clip. Now, some of them are people doing like a children's song. Whatever basically happens on the screen, they're going to watch the person what they're doing on the screen, and then they have to then recreate it and do that for the audience to watch
Okay.
and judge them on it. So if they one of them is the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and there's an adult who's up there, was doing this little thing and really acting it out, and of course then my contestant. So we go, you've seen it now. Are you ready to do it? And then crowd, do you guys think that they're going to do a great job? Hey! And we have them do it. And if there's a good enough crowd response, how many people think they should, get the prize? It works really, really well with teen events. But the key thing with it is I can use some of the same clips. There's some clips I've been using for like 6 years now. Those still are my hottest clips with that. But you got to adjust a little bit of it. So like the contest right now, it would probably be so you think you can perform, kind of off the think you can dance type of a thing, or something that's hot instead of, calling it something that's too old and too out of their realm. So anyway.
So you're not going to call it Star Search?
No, a Star Search. Well, that's my personal favorite, really. But
I understand. It was hot. Like in 1970 something.
Exactly. Back when Carl was on it. After Carl went out, once he was off Star Search, it just went downhill from there.
Little known fact, Britney Spears auditioned for that, as did I think Christina Aguilera. So after you guys are done watching this, go ahead and YouTube Star Search Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera.
And they were about that.
I think Britney Spears gets cut. So it should have been a sign, but
She persisted and we fell for it.
there you go.
I mean, again, a schoolgirl outfit. Now we're back to that, that naughtiness and that whole thing. And now we're back to the Minnesota people being cold.
You guys are freaks. You guys are freaks up there.
Casey.
It's 90 today, which means it's like 30 in Minnesota right now?
Yeah, exactly. The ice cubes melted off the lake this morning, so we're in great shape. We're ready for summer.
Good deal.
Casey, thank you very much for being with me tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. You picked up a couple of ideas with some games. This is fun. We should do this again.
Okay.
We'll have to put some more ideas together and do this again. So, gang, we'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes. The link for this show number 4 is down in the description below. I didn't get a chance to put that in there, but we'll see you guys in a bit. Casey, good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.